Let's talk about a grape with a wild story. I mean, this is a grape that was literally invented in a garden, almost thrown away, and then somehow it rose up to become the signature wine of an entire country. This is the unlikely and pretty fascinating story of Pinotage.
So, let's start with a little puzzle. Imagine you're trying to create the perfect grape. You want all the class and elegance of one of the world's most famous varieties, but you also need it to be tough, something that can handle the heat. So, what do you get when you cross that French elegance with some serious rugged resilience?
You get Pinotage, the one-of-a-kind signature red grape of South Africa. And here's the thing. This isn't some ancient grape that popped up thousands of years ago. No, this was a modern invention, born from a single, really ambitious idea. Pinotage is way more than just something to drink. For South Africa, it's really a symbol of the country's whole winemaking spirit. All about innovation and being able to adapt to its unique land. Yeah, the origin of Pinotage wasn't some happy accident. This was a deliberate, almost audacious scientific experiment. This grape was designed from the ground up. And the whole idea was born from a total contrast. On one side, you have Pinot Noir, the elegant, famously difficult, and kind of fussy parent. And on the other, you've got Cinsault, a rustic, heat-loving workhorse of a grape. The goal? Create a brand new grape that had the beautiful soul of Pinot Noir, but the tough-as-nails strength of Cinsault. But the journey from that idea to an actual bottle of wine, well, it was a long one, a really long one. Back in 1925, Professor Abraham Pearls made the cross. But then the vines were nearly lost, totally forgotten about in a garden. It took another 16 years, all the way until 1941, for the very first bottle of Pinotage wine to actually be made. Talk about a slow burn. But even then, the journey wasn't smooth. For a long, long time, Pinotage had a bit of a bad rap. People said it was rough, maybe even had some weird aromas. It literally took decades for winemakers to figure this grape out and unlock its true potential. So what we taste today is really the result of that long, hard-won transformation. And modern Pinotage, it is anything but shy. People describe it as a true explosion of sensations. When you smell a really good Pinotage, you're not just smelling wine. It's almost like you're getting a sense of the South African landscape itself. So what does that explosion actually taste like? Well, first, you get hit with this incredible wave of vibrant red and dark fruits. Think cherry, raspberry, maybe some plum. It's that initial blast of fruit that just pulls you in. But then, right underneath that fruit, another layer starts to show up. A little bit of exotic spice. Things like clove, cinnamon, maybe a hint of black pepper that gives it this wonderful savory edge. And if the wine has a little bit of age on it, or if it's spent some time in oak barrels, even richer notes start to come out. You'll often find this beautiful dark chocolate character, which adds this amazing depth. And finally, one of its signature notes, especially from that oak aging, a distinct aroma of rich roasted coffee. So you've got fruit, spice, chocolate, and coffee all in one glass. I mean, come on, that is an incredibly complex and memorable combination. Now, this is a really crucial point. Pinotage isn't just one single style. It really has three main faces. You've got the young and fruity style, which is all about those bright red fruits. Then there's the serious, aged style, with those complex notes of tobacco and coffee. And finally, you have Cape blends, where it's mixed with grapes like Cabernet to create something totally uniquely South African. So, while the story definitely starts in South Africa, a grape this adaptable wasn't going to stay put for long. Let's take a look at where else Pinotage has started to lay down some roots across the globe. Its heartland, of course, is still South Africa. Those classic regions like Stellenbosch and Paarl, they tend to produce more elegant styles. But then you go to warmer areas like Swartland, and you get these bigger, more powerful versions. This is where the land really, truly shapes the wine. But check this out. Look at this global spread. Because it's so hardy, winemakers from California to Brazil, and believe it or not, even Canada are experimenting with it. Now, it's still pretty niche outside of South Africa, for sure, but this just goes to show you how adaptable that Cinsault parent really made it. Okay, now this is where the fun really begins. Those bold flavors in Pinotage make it an absolutely fantastic food wine. So let's look at how to bring it to your table. Here's a pretty simple guide. Its structure, those tannins that give you that drying feeling in your mouth, they are perfect for cutting through the richness of grilled meats. Those earthy notes make it a no-brainer for game and lamb.
It can totally stand up to strong cheeses, and all that bold fruit means it can even handle the heat of spicy dishes. Okay, let's get specific because these sound delicious. The number one absolute classic pairing has to be a South African braai. That's their version of a barbecue. But think bigger: a spicy lamb curry, a hearty venison stew, a rich mushroom risotto, or hey, even just a simple piece of really good dark chocolate. It is incredibly versatile.
So, where does our unlikely hero go from here? Well, its story is far from over. In fact, you could say that with our changing world, its most important chapter might just be getting started.
One of the most exciting things happening right now is the move towards sustainable farming. By using organic and biodynamic methods, winemakers are creating these purer, more expressive wines that really let the grape's true character shine through, without a lot of extra stuff getting in the way. And this brings us completely full circle. Remember its parents, that built-in resilience, that toughness it got from sin salt? Well, that makes Pinotage incredibly well-suited to the challenges of a warming planet. It can handle heat and dry conditions that make other, more delicate grapes really struggle.
So, the crucial question we're left with is this. A grape that was designed for the South African climate almost 100 years ago, could it be one of the keys to the future of wine around the world? Could this unlikely hero, born from a simple experiment, be exactly what the wine world needs right now? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about.